To counter that, that's the reason why I've given every officer a special assignment, because regardless of what that assignment is, it forces them to engage with the community on a different level than they are now, despite the shift they work.
Right,
So-
okay.
Now, there has been some shift adjustments been done.
Mhm.
Right, to reduce overtime and those kind of things.
Yeah, for a variety of reasons, yeah. But Doug is special too.
He really is.
There's
He really is. He's trying to leave us next year in June, and I'm really trying to keep him on board, so.
And he's been prepping us for like a year and a half.
Oh, he has, yep, he really has.
But Doug is special. I can't say enough good things about Doug. You know, some things he does go against policy, but you can't really punish him or really bug him, because I think his heart's the right place. For give you an example, there was a drowning at the Glens. He jumped in with his entire equipment to save a life. That's Doug.
And
All right.
he- just as a spoiler alert, Doug is actually, I've given him permission to go out of Rex, which is policy for his beard. He's growing it out to play Uncle Sam at July 4th, so. So if you see him looking a little scraggly, that's why.
I'm doing that too.
Yeah, there you go. Actually,
He's got to help her now. He's got to help her.
I'm going for Santa Claus, you're right. Yeah. All right, well, thank you, Chief.
Thanks.
Thank you, Paige.
Yeah,
Appreciate it, Chief.
All right, Matt.
All right. Yeah, I think a lot of what happens in finance is really a work product of how we value a lot of our departments, how we, what ultimately is the product of our work, what we deem valuable. So when it comes to budgeting, things like that, we want to represent what we think is important monetarily, right? And so the first item on this list is just about software and analytics, and having a way for us to elevate our decision-making to be more informed on some of the more complicated things that we've talked about, as far as, hey, what haven't we funded recently? What can we get in and pull out, and you have these key takeaways as far as information of regards to the budget, without having to do such heavy-handed work creation. Our current accounting software is just that. It's an accounting software. I download into an Excel spreadsheet, and I have to manipulate it to get into sometimes a visual document that we can digest and see at a higher level, because they drop down into minor object codes and minor amounts, and then you pivot and you spread them up. So I think in some of the analytics and the informed decision making could be helpful with the budget software. We have an accounting a company that we work with in our accounting software that also has a module that has budget capabilities that it would certainly be a value-added thing that we could offer. And there is a presentation in and of itself that would pitch some of the elements that software could give us, and some of the nice things that we could see from that. Number two, just again firming up some of these policies in the process documentation. I tend to have to be really oriented towards what those policies are, in that it is a formal environment with the money, and for me it's not just about doing the right thing, but doing it the right way, and documenting that, and doing it in a way which is fair and doesn't make certain people vulnerable based on us wanting to be flexible and able to really benefit the community. So I don't. We don't want to be an impediment to getting things done, but it is a necessary requirement of some of that. So I want to continue to collaborate with everyone, and but also just kind of say that some of this is coming from my angle of this particular area being important. Financial sustainability. We want to talk about providing investments in our community that are going to last 4 generations to come. Things that we can appreciate now and in the future. So it's not just about ourselves, but our children's communities. That if you want to see them here in Yellow Springs, what kind of groundwork are we laying for that future? And that's in terms of also providing tangible investments, but financial sustainability in terms of cash growth and things like that. So we want to explore certain fund areas. We want to concentrate on some of that thing, but also really firm up what we determine are like the primary role of local government service. So Marion, you mentioned all these things happening in the world, But that, we also need to focus on what we can do to change some of that. What can we do as the Village of Yellow Spring to benefit some of these complications? But what is our role in what we can control and what we can improve, and focusing on the improvement standpoint and what we can do as officials and local government professionals to make the quality of life, our days better, and the community is something that somebody wants to move into and continues to do that. So, and again, collaborate with everyone. During the budget process, we'll talk about what the feedback we hear from meeting with some of our department heads, whether those are labor challenges or systems that we could take on to improve some of our day-to-day stuff. But we're going to look to use the money as a tool to create change, right? To make things better. So I hope we'll continue to work to do that with you guys.
All right, thanks for that. So, I think, Carla, were you trying to get in and ask a question?
Oh, no, I just wanted to, I mean, can I just add an agenda item? I'm stuck on this $2 thing still. I'm still stuck on this thing.
Stormwater.
Right.
Yeah, it's gonna, I mean, it's gonna come on the agenda.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Is that it?
I
Well,
put it on the agenda for the 20th.
yeah, well, and, the finance, it was, the finance committee started to look at it,
Sure.
so yeah, it's coming. Yep.
So, Matt, I think I got mixed up in my mind. Matt, we started talking about software, and I thought, didn't we just buy some software? But that was like a couple of years, well, I think it was pre-pandemic, so a long time ago. Was that the utility billing software that we recently?
When Melissa was here, wasn't we
We
changed?
changed from CMI, sorry, we went from via SSI VIP doing the utility billing to CMI, authority billing. So we used to have, the same accounting software was also doing the utility billing, and we separated that into a software that is focused on utility billing.
So what I heard, it was an Excel, you're using Excel? Is that what I heard?
To do budget.
Sure, absolutely.
You're using just Excel?
Yeah, that's how we manipulate it, roll it up, and get into a
Okay.
a format that we can all
Well, I-
digest
I'm just
in the
make-
time,
I'm
yeah.
just making
Oh,
sure that
absolutely,
that's what I
yeah.
heard.
No, absolutely.
Okay.
He's got really good Excel skills.
Well,
That's good to know.
I don't, that's, I mean,
Mhm.
I guess in my opinion, that's not adequate for all the things that you need to do. That's all I'm saying.
Yep.
I think we need more, better process and better system. That's that's coming in, I think,
Mhm. Yeah, I'd love to show you guys some of the things I've seen. We do have a couple products that are out there. But I think really it's just about educating everybody, bringing like that knowledge of, what the community finances look like, where they're going, what, my individual contribution, if I'm a resident, if I'm a worker here, how that money gets divided up, and how much we really contribute to salt during the winter, our road prep, what is really that dollar amount that we're seeing from our actual individual pocket, how it gets funded out.
And you're doing all that in Excel.
Well, we're not doing it yet.
No, not on the expense side.
Right, I got
Okay.
you.
All right.
I think the group has asked for another level of sophistication, because I'm a numbers guy. I can do a table, all I need is a table, but that's
Sure,
not,
sure.
the budget process isn't necessarily all for me.
I think,
You guys can see.
I know, I mean, I think that maybe I'm not understanding.
I
So
think-
as far as like ease of, like, as far as, making things simpler for I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think
Presentation.
what you're saying makes sense, and I think we need to move through this.
Okay.
So, but yeah, it's good. Yeah, good.
Okay, planning and zoning, so my title is planning and zoning administrator and economic sustainability liaison. Yeah, that's a lot. And it's me, and I've had a part-time person for a long time. Different ones have come and gone, but I share that person with Judy, and she has her 2 days a week, and I have her 3 days a week we each have her for 4 hours each day, so I have her for 12 hours. And that was prior to the building department, and I'm not complaining, because we're
Is that
managing. This is Chelsea, yes, and I'm not complaining about that, because we're managing fine. department. But, there are several projects that I've heard council members talk about, and then there's our internal one. The Park and Recreation Master Plan that Johnny has no time to even contemplate. It was last updated in 1998. And there's been talk about revisiting the zoning code from 2013. I mean, if that's gonna be done, then I think that the Park and Rec Master Plan should be rolled in and possibly be done at the same time. But I do wanna step back a little bit and just discuss what exactly council's thoughts are on the zoning code update, because 2013 wasn't that long ago, and when the update happened, it hadn't really been tested. There was some internal turmoil, I think, with the planning person, and then there was nobody for a while, and then we were engaging someone from Greene County in a very part-time capacity that was coming in here maybe once a week and was trying to issue permits for the whole community one time a week, and that was problematic. So by the time I came into that role in 2015, it really hadn't been tested that much, and that's when we had a myriad of text amendments, because as I started to use it, there were conflicting codes within it that had to be fixed. And also, I tried to gear it for what we were, what council had put as their goal for infill development. In particular, John probably wanted to shoot me on that one. But anyway, I had the zoning code changed so that we we'd already eliminated minimum sizes, minimum sizes on houses. So you could do whatever kind of size you want, as long as it goes okay with state code, because that building department is a whole different thing. But from a zoning perspective, we don't have that anymore. We also had something in there that required so many square feet for a property, and we eliminated that. And then we took and rolled up, so if you're allowed to have potentially 8 units per acre in a certain zone, if your acreage was 1.25 or 1.75, we would still allow it to roll up, so you could have 16 units on that 1.25 or 1.75 acres, as long as you met the lot coverage and the setback requirements for that property. So there was another piece in the code where when you do a subdivision, you can, as in the planning code, you could have some occasional 20-foot frontages. That's how you had some of the flag lots that you see over on Gordon Road and some other Livermore, some other places. So we went ahead and suggested to council, and they accepted it to permanently consider that as an allowable thing, because that would also increase infill. And so you have to have 20 feet of frontage for your driveways leading back to some of these larger lots. But what happened then, the result of that, thinking ahead without thinking about the infrastructure, is there were starting to be problems with stormwater runoff in particular, and some other issues. So then we kind of had this, it was already in the code, so we had to work with with Planning Commission and Choice One Engineering to help us rewrite our design standards in our subdivision code, so that stormwater became a concern. And we created this, what we call stormwater mitigation plan. So anybody who puts even a shed on their property now has to fulfill a stormwater, has to have a plan for mitigating that. So there's a lot of things that we've done, and now just recently, this past month, we also added in the utility review, which that can hopefully catch some issues ahead of time before things become a problem. But all of these things have been done and continue to be done. So I don't know what council's thinking as far as the zoning code update. If there's just a couple of things that could be tweaked. There's still some stuff that, even Brianne and I have found that could be changed. Or if you're thinking of a complete rewrite. And if you are thinking of a complete rewrite, then that definitely is gonna require a consultant. And it's the same with the master plan. And also you mentioned, it's been 10 years since there was a vision planning. When we did that in 2010, we did it with Miami Township trustees and Clifton. That project at that time was $65,000. 15,000 of it was paid for by the township, and the village paid 50. And Clifton, didn't have any money for that. So, the zoning code update in 2012, 2013 is when it was adopted, it started in 2012. That was a little under 70,000. So obviously, anything like this now, I would probably say is gonna be 9,200.
So I guess I have a question, it's possible then just to, you don't have to update the entire thing, right?